Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the October the 4th, 2022 meeting of the Newberry County Board of Zoning Appeals will come to order. We do have a quorum. All the seats are filled. I'd ask that you disable the audible function of your communicators so as not to interrupt the meeting. If you speak tonight, consider yourself under oath. This is a judicial meeting. The format for tonight's meeting will be as follows. I'll read a statement of the matter to be heard. The staff presentation will be presented at that time. Then the presentation by the applicant will be allowed with a limit of 5 minutes. Then a presentation in support will be allowed with a limit of 5 minutes. Presentation in opposition, if is present, will be allowed and limited to 5 minutes. And the applicant will have the opportunity to rebut the opposition if need be. The board will close the case to the public, and the BZA will make a motion concerning the application stating specific findings of facts and conclusions of law. The first order of business will be the approval of the corrected minutes of the meeting for September the 6th. Does everybody have a copy of the corrected minutes?
Okay.
As long as it took Doug as chairman off, it'd be fine.
Okay.
Ms. Colvin?
All right, so Mr. Chairman, the minutes are fine with the exception of what the ones that I have is showing Doug Hipp as chair.
Correct.
And it was Mr. Bolin who called the meeting to order.
Correct.
So with that correction having been made, I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made. Any more discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Under old business, I'd like to just report on the outcome of the appeal of August the 10th. It was the Hendricks case that we heard on April the 5th by Mrs. Jessica Tarter. And Judge Allison Lee ruled in our favor and denied her appeal. I think she has 30 days from whatever date that was, about a week after our last meeting.
October 17th.
That's the deadline. She has till October the 17th to appeal further if she so chooses. Under new business, case number VA01-10-04-22, a variance request for a 2-foot front yard setback for a new 12 by 21 open carport. The property is located at 6380 Count Sausage Road, Newberry, South Carolina, tax map number 357-19. Ms. Katie.
The homeowner and the applicant, which is Mr. Davis here, is requesting for a 23-foot variance from the required 25-foot variance from the front yard to be 2 foot from the right-of-way. This is for an open carport, and as you can see, his property is highlighted in yellow. His property is very narrow. The existing house was built prior to zoning, so therefore setbacks were not enforced. So he's wanting to put the carport as he pulls in to his house, which would require this variance from you all.
Any questions for Ms. Katie? Thank you, Ms. Katie.
I do have a question,
Go,
Chairman.
yes,
What's the current road right-of-way as far as 25 feet, 35 feet, or whatever?
It's 25 foot from Count Sausage. Do we know? It's out there. 66 foot right of way. So you'd come from the
33.5 feet.
Yep, you come from the middle of the road, 33 foot, and then add our
25.
25 foot to it.
Okay. Any more questions for Ms. Katie? Would the applicant like to speak tonight?
She handled everything beautifully. I have nothing else to add.
Okay,
She said it all.
okay. You Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak against this application? Well, that makes it easy. Hearing no other comments, this case is now closed to the public. And we are required to consider. I'm going to read these, gentlemen and lady. And if you have any comments or problems or exceptions, speak out. The board is required to consider the following facts per section 153-153.052 A through F of the zoning ordinance, 153.052 C, 1 through 5. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property.
I'd say it meets that requirement, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or in that district.
Would agree to that.
Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict use of the property.
I agree with that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance, and the effect of the variance would not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, would not change the zoning district boundaries shown on the official zoning map.
Agree with both points.
Who was that, Mr. Hill?
Mr. Lister.
Mr. Lister, okay. And 153.172 lot area width setback requirements as specified in the zoning table. That being said, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance as requested.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made by Mr. Ransdale, seconded by Mr. Hill. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The motion carries. Your application is approved.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all.
You know to wait
30 days.
30 days.
30 days, yep.
I think she's already.
Thank you.
That's-
Y'all
She's
have a great
explained that to him. Next case, VA 02-10-04-22, a variance request for a 16-foot front yard setback for a new pole building. The property is located at 181 Holiday Acres Road, Prosperity, South Carolina, tax map number 650-1-22. Miss Katie again.
The homeowners are requesting a 9-foot variance from the required 20-foot front yard setback to be 19 foot from the road right-of-way for a new pole building. There is an existing house on the property that they are going to be remodeling. And because of the septic tank and drain fields is in the back of the house towards the road, and if you see in the yellow highlighted, to the right of their property, there's an existing old shed. They're wanting to demo it and build a new one, but because of septic lines and tank, they are needing the variance.
Very good. Any questions for Miss Katie? Thank you, Miss Katie. Would the applicant like to speak? All right. Is there anyone here that would like to speak against this proposal? Hearing none, the case is now closed for public comment. And we are required to review the 5 finding of fact. The board is required to consider the following factors per section 153.052 A through F of the zoning ordinance, 153.052 C, 1 through 5. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property.
I can agree with that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or in that district.
Agree to that one as well.
Thank you. Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict use of the property.
I'll agree on that.
Thank you. The authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance, and the effect of the variance would not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, would not change the zoning district boundaries shown on the official zoning map. Can we agree to that?
I agree to that.
Thank you. That being said, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
I defer.
I move that we grant the variance.
Motion's been made by Mr. Hibb, and I think seconded by, I heard it, Mr. Lister. Yeah. Any more comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Your application is granted. Ms. Franklin? Thank you. Anybody have any other business or discussion and information on items that we need to talk about? Do we have anything yet for November?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Okay. 2? Okay. Well, there's a final motion.
Okay, I move for the adjournment of the meeting, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that, Mr.
All in
Chairman.
favor? Pick up your stuff and leave.
I told y'all 15 minutes.
You did, I can't believe it, but you were absolutely right.
Somebody